Hello and welcome to another episode of Alex's Afternoon Art Show. Today we're going to be drawing Venom as part of our Marvel vs. Capcom 2 mural. So this is character 10, I believe. So 10 of, 55. So yeah, we're making progress at least. Okay, so you might not be able to notice it, but I did add a couple. I added one since last time. I've added Jen over to the side here, but we're not going to focus on him because he's not important right now. What's important is Venom. What's important is getting that Venom. So, we're going to turn everything else off. Well, we'll keep our other active characters on there for now. So, get rid of everyone who isn't important right now. So, we're only left with our first 10. So, I'm going to zoom in a touch, and then we're going to start removing those. So I don't anticipate Venom taking very long, and I should mention that I have really screwed with the proportions here. And it is vaguely intentional. Some of this, like that foot, is maybe a bit too small. I am gonna have to rework some of this because yeah, his proportions are maybe a little too weird. Because yeah, my reasoning was because of just how weird his proportions are in the art, which I'm having to pull up now because I forgot to do it beforehand. But yeah, his proportions in Bengus's art are always really weird. He's always got like really big shoulders. Yeah, he's always got really big shoulders, and he's kind of just really proportionally strange. But yeah, I feel like I suppose maybe I might kind of rework some of this so that he's a little bit more proportionate. Because I suppose in game he's got pretty thick legs, but in Bengus's art he's kind of, again, I'm looking at it here and it's a case of where yeah, like he's got big shoulders and he's got kind of like, he's kind of just weird and long. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to rework some of his proportioning here. Just maybe in these legs in particular. And also that foot is tiny. He shouldn't have feet that small, there's no way. I don't know what I was thinking here. But yeah, the tongue is gonna be one thing as well, the teeth. And I'm gonna need to make his jaw maybe a little longer. I need to maybe do something about that, because yeah, the way that the Bengus does it anyways, his jaw kind of comes really far out. It like kind of cups the underside of his tongue for quite far. But yeah, you know what, we'll get into it now. We'll start working away. You know, I feel like no matter what I do in a base sketch, Venom always looks really weird in base sketches in particular. Like, the proportions look okay there now, and I've only made some minor adjustments really, so I really don't know what it is. He just seems to look strange no matter what I do with him in a base sketch. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's maybe his just his basic kind of his basic proportioning is just a bit tough. And I suppose maybe I'll just touch on, yeah, the particular way that Bengus draws Venom's eyes is a little weird in that it's wildly inconsistent. Depending on what particular piece of art you're looking at, he draws Venom's eyes dramatically differently. And here I'm just kind of winging it, to be honest, as it's I'm kind of going off of his primary character art of Venom for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But yeah, like, yeah, it's a case of where a lot of artists do this just in general when it comes to Venom's eyes, which is to get jiggy with it, I guess. Just kind of do whatever. No one really cares. Venom doesn't have a set eye shape quite like Spider-Man does, because I suppose within the context of the world, Venom's eyes are supposed to be shifting, I guess, more so than Spider-Man's. Just realizing actually I'm also going to have to draw Venom's teeth. Oof. Venom's teeth are the longest part. Everything else can be done reasonably quickly. Venom's teeth, not so much. And yeah, just trying to kind of suss out the bits of where there needs to be extra folding or kind of stuff like that to emphasize the weird kind of shape of his head and face. Because, like, this is one of those things of where it's just a bit of a pain, and especially, again, given the way that Bendis draws Venom, it's a case of where Venom's jaw is really kind of stretched, his bottom jaw anyways, it's really stretched out to accommodate for how long his tongue is. And I mean, some artists do this, but it's very kind of, it's very pronounced in Bendis's art, because it's a case where even looking at like some of the Marvel vs. Capcom 1 stuff where there's like kind of upward shots of Venom like that, and it's like you're only seeing the jaw just come out like that off in bloody whatever direction. It's just a very striking feature, I suppose, of the way that Bendis draws Venom. It's the same with the way that he draws Spider-Man, with Spider-Man having a very kind of central nose point in his mask, more so than usual. Okay, so here I'm really trying to emphasize the kind of curvature of Venom's tongue, because I feel like whenever I did the Marvel Nemesis drawings, I mean, realistically, details-wise, this isn't going to be dramatically different, just only in his proportions. I just want to, I feel like last time I didn't really get across the kind of bending and curving of the tongue. That's kind of the thing I'm trying to do here, that his tongue is kind of curving over and folding and twisting and all this and becoming really thin and horrible looking. And that it's kind of looping all the way back down the end of his throat and all this stuff, and that it's just colossal, because you can see it's still going there. So that's the kind of thing that I'm looking to emphasize, is that it's a huge, horrible thing, his tongue. I don't know if I'm going to have any drips coming off of it. It has drips in game, but I don't know how much I want to put that in, because that's a lot of effort. Well, not really, but it can obscure the kind of bending and curving here. So if I put it in, I'm going to need to put it in very carefully. Or you know what, I feel like this isn't enough in terms of the bending and curving. I feel like it needs to kind of come back out and around like that. And that maybe looks a bit better now. Just trying to make sure it doesn't collide with the hand, because I don't want to create a tangent like that. I've talked about tangents before, but just to kind of refresh, I guess, a tangent occurs whenever you're, whenever you have lines meet in such a way that it looks like they're on the same plane, even though they're not supposed to. That's the kind of basic idea. Okay, we're stuck on the lines, which happens sometimes because Photoshop is a great tool. So here we'll emphasize the thickness of this a little more so that it doesn't appear as though it's connecting to the shoulder, because the shoulder here yeah, it's on a different plane than the tongue, and we want to emphasize that the tongue is in front of the shoulder, so we want to put it lower so that it doesn't, so that it connects more. And I'll probably bring out the shoulder a little bit more so it comes to meet the it comes to about the middle. I don't know why I'm pointing to the screen, you can't see that. So it comes to about the middle of the tongue, about there. But yeah, just trying to make it look a little bit more interesting. And there, we've got some folding and curving, and yeah, Venom's tongue here is very long. I never really loved Venom, well, I've never really loved Venom, but I've never really loved his tongue either. Never really liked that idea, I just thought it was kind of weird as a concept. Because yeah, it always just seemed really strange to me that he had such a big, weird, long tongue. And yeah, it's just the kind of thing where I'm trying to do this in such a way that it doesn't obscure anything and that it doesn't look weird either. Because it's very easy to make this look weird, or to make it look like a wrong material. Because again, I mean, the material here is that this is a tongue. This is a tongue material. So it's a case of where I'm trying to put folds and wrapping and like overlapping and stuff like that in here, but it's just very tricky to kind of emphasize that correctly. And then it's a case where here we've got lines kind of curving and wrapping around each other. So we need to be very careful and make sure we kind of darken the lines in the correct way, just so that everything is emphasized in such a way that you can tell which thing is supposed to be where. It's very easy for that stuff to get lost whenever we're doing something kind of more convoluted like this. And again, yeah, that's a big old tongue. So I'll carry on. Okay, so I have done my best to make Venom's mouth look nice and gnarly, and yeah, I added a little bit of dribble coming off his tongue. Not much, so it shouldn't take too long to do that. So I'll try and use a good luminous green that really kind of stands out. But yeah, well, we'll get to that in a while, because I nearly forgot we do have to do dots as well. Yeah, I don't anticipate this taking very much longer, to be honest, because I'm going to need to be very judicious on what I do with my dots, because I don't want to have to be constantly turning on and off the layer just to make my life a little easier. But yeah, and yet this is, as per usual, this is the point in the video where I go a little bit silent, because this is the point where it kind of becomes a little bit more focused. But yeah. Okay, there's children screaming outside. I don't know if that's going to pick up on mic. I hope not. I prefer if it did not pick up on mic. But yeah, so next is the colors. And our colors shouldn't take too long. Because yeah, I mean, it's primarily just going to be purple and white. So First thing to do would probably be the green on his tongue. And his white is, yeah, his teeth are the same color as the rest of him, so there's green on his tongue, then his red, and then his white and his purple. So yeah, really won't take too long. Okay. First up is green. Okay, so we've got our colours done. I kind of had to skew the purple here to be much brighter and bluer because it wasn't coming out right on screen for me. And also Venom's blue and purple is very bright in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Hell, you know, I feel like it could even stand to be bluer and brighter. So I'll bring that down. So I'm seeing plenty of reference here of where it's like really bright and blue. So I'll make it like that. How's that looking? Ooh, that's maybe a little too bright. I think we definitely need it to be more vibrant, but maybe a little darker. Because yeah, I'm seeing a lot of reference images here of where it's quite blue actually rather than purple. But it's weird because in Bengus's art it is very purple. In the same sense that could be the skew of it, I'm not sure. I feel like it might be too dark. Because yeah, the thing with blues on this screen for whatever reason is that I'm not sure if it's the same on other monitors or if it's on, because it's definitely not it's very far from the tablet screen. But yeah, the blues come out very different on screen. They come out much more kind of pale on screen, so it's a case where I'm trying to kind of screw with this so it looks a little bit better. So what I'll do is I'll bring it down like that, and then we'll see what that's like. It's looking a little bit more like what I'm seeing here, but maybe make that a little less light. Like that maybe. What if I put Spider-Man in front of him? Maybe that'll kind of help me judge what kind of color he needs to be. I do want him to stand out from Spider-Man as the thing, so it's a case of where maybe you need to bring him up a touch. Okay, maybe a little bit more like that. No. See, it's tricky because Venom obviously is supposed to be black. In the suit is supposed to be black, but in the art in the games it is very blue. It is very blue. So it's a case of where I'm trying to kind of find the compromise here of where I kind of meet something that's maybe a little bit more accurate within reason. Because I want it to be darker than it is in game. Because in game it is very blue. I think this is okay. This is still very blue. I'll probably make yeah, I mean I do still want the purples of the shading to actually show, so this is the thing. Okay. Anyways, we'll do the shading now, because this has gone on a lot longer than I expected. This has gone on for maybe about 20 minutes longer than I expected, so we'll just turn off Spider-Man, then we'll go back in, and we'll get through this. Oh crap, I actually need to grab my colors from here, so we'll do that, and then we'll come back to do the light line. Okay, there's our shading. So now we gotta do our light line and then we're done. And then that's it. Okay, so yeah, we're nearing the end here. We're nearing the end, folks. Alright, so that's Venom. He's done. Oh, excuse me. I had a bit of gas in me. Anyways, okay, so there's Venom. Venom's done. Let's see how he shapes up as compared to the other Marvel characters. So we can close this folder. We can turn on Captain America. Venom's foot goes slightly lower. It doesn't matter. Turn on Cyclops. Turn on Spider-Man. Turn on Wolverine. There's Venom with all the other Marvel characters. Turn off the background. We don't need it. So Venom is at least darker than Captain America, and he's darker than Spider-Man, so that's decent at least. So now we can turn on the the Marvel character, or the Capcom characters. I was gonna say Street Fighter characters, then I said Marvel characters, and then my brain failed me. Okay, so we're at this point now where we need to zoom out pretty far in order to see all of them, because it's that kind of situation we're in. But yeah, so that's Venom. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was maybe gonna say something there, but I don't remember what it was. This video ran on a little longer than I expected. I expected this recording to only be an hour and a half, but now here we are at 2 hours and 10 minutes. So yeah, it's primarily the tongue that caused this to get longer. But yep. So yeah, we kind of covered, I suppose, a little bit of a few minuscule little things with Venom. We were kind of talking about tangents and perspective and a few little bits like that. And yeah, we kind of touched on proportions and all that stuff. So yeah, we had a couple of topics at least. But yeah. So I think I'm gonna wrap up now. So if you like the video, do what you normally do. I'm not gonna press you into anything you don't want to do. If you like the video, go for it. If not, oh well. Subscribe if you want. Same deal. If you want to keep watching videos of these, you can keep watching them normally, or you can subscribe. I'd prefer if you subscribed, obviously, but I'll live if you don't. And yeah, if you decide to watch the next video, I'll see you next time. So, bye bye.